High school students, what is the teacher you hated most? The teacher I hated most in my life was my homeroom teacher in 11th grade, Mr. Zhang. He was in his early 30s, well-dressed, soft-spoken, but deep down he was full of hypocrisy and a thirst for control. He had a special habit. Every Friday during the last period, he would force us to write a self-reflection report, even if we had done nothing wrong. He claimed it was to enhance our self-awareness, but in truth, it was a form of psychological control. At first, I thought he had our best interests at heart, until one day, I wrote a few honest lines in my report, saying I felt mentally exhausted. He read my essay out loud in front of the entire class, then sneered, "This student thinks studying is hard? Maybe construction work would suit you better." The whole class burst into laughter, and I felt my face burn with shame. From that day on, I began to notice his two-faced nature. In the office, he'd smile and reassure parents that their kids were making progress. But in the classroom, he'd humiliate the very same students. He doted on high-performing students and treated average ones with cold indifference or even scorn. I started to despise him and began to think about fighting back. But I didn't choose violence or a direct confrontation. I wanted something smarter, more surgical. I was a tech geek, so I spent a few weeks practicing penetration testing in the computer lab. Eventually, I found the back-end login credentials to the school's learning system, the one Mr. Zhang used to assign homework, write evaluations, and track grades. I didn't destroy any data. I just did one thing. I quietly added a new feature called anonymous feedback, allowing students to freely comment on teachers, without the teacher ever seeing it. I made it look like it came from a routine system update, so no one would suspect anything. Within a week, dozens of anonymous messages piled up. Students wrote things like, "Mr. Zhang loves to humiliate people. I can't sleep because of him, and he's the shadow over my education." By the second week, school administrators noticed the feedback and launched an investigation. Mr. Zhang was reassigned. They said it was to a position that better suited his talents. A new teacher took over our class, and the atmosphere became noticeably lighter. I never publicly admitted what I did, but I know that after that day, many of us, myself included, could finally hold our heads up in class again. It was the first time in my life that I used technology to stand up against authority. And that feeling? It was more thrilling than any perfect score I'd ever received.